Why, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the Galaxsi Scrum. I am your host, Matt, or as in this context today, I am Matt Galaxsi, and I think this is a few of you's first time actually seeing me because you are from the SRL community, so I just want to wish you a warm welcome. And yeah, obviously, welcome to the show. Just before anyone asks this, we are not discussing anything Origin related today. We actually have a special episode for that next week on Tuesday night. So look forward to that. So I'm really excited to get into that. But as of today, I want to actually bring on, because I thought this would be a very good opportunity to kind of talk about something that is pretty that's growing in the rugby league community, but it's like it needs a bit more attention. So that being said, I would like to welcome in the Simulation Rugby League, or SRL Commish, or SRL for short, Commissioner Will. How you doing today, Will?
Lovely, Matt. Very excited to be here. Happy to talk some real footy, simulated footy. It's great to be on the show.
Nah, thank you so much for coming on in. Do you want to just quickly just give yourself a little bit of a background in your history with rugby league?
Yeah, so I've played rugby league since I was about 12 years old. I've been refereeing since about 13, and I continue to do that nowadays. I'm down from Melbourne, so it's a bit of a smaller sport down here, but I've had a very good run with obviously my home team and how they've done over the last 25 years or so. So I love the sport. I bleed rugby league. I can't get enough of it. And that's part of the reason that I'm in the role in the Simulation Rugby League, as well as involved in footy at grassroots and representative level, and of course a big NRL fan.
That's awesome. And obviously, if you guys haven't caught on yet, of course, Will does go for the Melbourne Storm themselves. Yes, the big purple guys. Yeah. So would you say you're a hardcore Storm fan?
Oh yeah, when it comes to the NRL, hardcore Storm fan, 100%. They are terrific. I love them. I've been a club member for 10 years now. So I'm a big hardcore fan. Definitely.
Definitely. No, but we got a lot coming on the show today. Seriously, Will, thank you so much for coming on in. And before we get into anything going on, I just also want to say we are actually also live on Twitch. So if you guys want to come on in to the Twitch channel, it is twitch.tv/Matt Galaxsi. We actually have our Galaxsi bot that is always in there all the time. So if you guys want to come and play some draws, it's absolutely there, but obviously not NRL related. We are working on some NRL related content for Galaxsi Bot soon, so look forward to that. But I'm going to quickly go ahead and shout out the people who are here first. So we've got Pink Girl 1994. Hello there, babe. How you doing? Good to see you. Pink Girl Lani coming on in on Twitch. Lucas Hardy from YouTube. Pancake Gamer, welcome on in, my mod. I think I saw Rugby 02. Yep, it's all good. Raiden from the says SRL gang. Good to see him. Yeah, up to Storm and the Broncos. Pancake is also a Storm supporter as well. All right, so we're gonna Will, gonna put you a bit to the test before we get into the main content, the main meat of the podcast today. So also Snicko Bro has joined the chat. He's actually here right now. Snicko. So, Will, you are going to be a dinner host to bring in some nice guests. You have the option of 3 either current or former players. I'm going to give you a chance to answer and explain each person in detail. But before anything, I just want to ask you a question. Why is it the big 3?
It definitely is the big 3. I mean, they've got a very interesting perspective, I think, on the game. Being able to play at such a high level together for such a long time and bring so much success, at a club, at a state level, at an international level. And they're all within their own right, just fantastic players. So I think that is probably why it's the big 3, and it's a very good guess from you, Matt. They are by far, I think, the most dominant playing core that we've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. And for those who don't know who the big 3 are, it's James Tedesco, wrong big 3. Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, and I think it's Cooper Cronk. I think
Cooper
Cooper
Cronk is the other
Cronk's.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. It's basically the Melbourne Storm spine, essentially. I just I'm terrible. My memory's really terrible, but that's only like 3 out of the 4 spine players. Who played 6 for that time for the Storm?
There was a lot of different players. I think the main bloke was just a little known bloke called GI. So he played 6 for quite a bit there, as well as in the centres for Melbourne. You had Blake Green, you've got Cameron Munster, you've got quite a few different players in and out. I think even James Maloney was there at one point.
I'm gonna pivot on this question a little bit. So if you couldn't invite the big 3, who would you would there be like? Is there anyone you would go to straight away that comes to mind, or?
Honestly, this is a tough question. I reckon I probably want to go and talk to someone more modern, maybe someone like Latrell Mitchell. I'd like to know I'd like to pick his brain about some things because obviously he's been a very controversial player. I'd like to have a chat to him about, how he deals with that and, there's obviously a lot of controversy around him at times and how he continues to perform despite that.
Yeah, 100%. I think Latrell Mitchell he'd almost make my list, honestly, which you guys aren't going to know my list for a while. So there you go. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because it's a bit of a, like, I wouldn't say it's a weird one, but it's a bit of a left field choice from you. But we had someone on the podcast a few weeks ago. They were a massive Cowboy supporter, but they picked Jerome Luai to come on.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to talk to him.
Nah, fair enough. He probably caused you guys some trouble in that grand final, didn't he? Oh, sorry. Was that too soon?
We caused him some trouble last week, so we got him back.
Yeah. Yeah, true. That's good. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, you went dominating one week and then suddenly you've just lost to the Sharks.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster right now. We're in a rebuild period, Matt.
Nah, fair enough. I mean, what? No. You're the Storm. You're supposed to be the premiership favourites. What's happening?
This is what a rebuild looks like in Melbourne.
Fair enough. We shoot for premierships in our rebuilds.
Exactly.
Nah, but all good. We'll quickly go through the round 11 results. But that's some interesting dinner guests that you've got there with the big 3. Well, honestly, it was kind of expected now that I think about it, but But yeah, let's get into the round 11 results. So the first game of the round was the Knights 6 versus the Eels 28. Nice bounce back from the Eels, honestly. They needed that win. And quite honestly, having Mitchell Moses and Zach Lomax on the edge is almost diabolical, if I say so the least. And quite honestly, I wasn't quite shocked at that result because the Knights have their own like internal problems and stuff. But so Eels gained their deadliest winger in Zach Lomax, and then immediately the next week lose him to Origin camp. You got anything to add on that, Will?
Yeah, I mean, I saw quite a bit of this game. I thought that Lomax was great, as was Mitchell Moses. In that first few minutes, they just went bang and bang, and I thought it was just going to be an absolute flogging. After that 14th minute, they pulled off a bit, and then they just scored another quick 3 tries near the end of the game. They were tremendous. And it was it 28-0 until late in the game when Schiller scored? So that is just one of the most dominant performances from a bottom 8 team we've seen in the season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, 74th minute, Schiller scored a try. At halftime, it was only 10-0 too, to the Parramatta Eels as well. So they just went ahead and just did all those, did 3 tries in succession of each other. So that's absolutely insane. But yeah, obviously they got the one, they got the one penalty as well. Sorry. On top, okay, well, moving on to the next game. This was an interesting game. Bulldogs 24, Roosters 20. I believe at halftime, Roosters were actually up 14-0. Yeah. So that was quite interesting. The Bulldogs seem to make a habit of doing this lately, if I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really proved that last week wasn't a fluke against the Raiders, that they have that ability to bounce back. I mean, coming down from 14-0, winning 24-20, that's really good. And I think that the Bulldogs, they've just got this, I don't know, this feeling about them this season that they're not afraid When they're down, the Bulldogs of the past, they're down at halftime, they shut the gate. That's the game. They truly believe they can come back from that position, and that's what we're seeing in the results that we're getting from them.
Yeah, definitely. And they're definitely proving that they are definitely deserving to be where they are right now on top of that ladder. And quite honestly, I tip the Bulldogs to have that second year syndrome that all the hype teams usually get. But the Bulldogs have just stuck on. And quite honestly, they are now probably one of the team. They are definitely the team to beat this year. They are the Broncos of 2023, which I wish the Broncos were doing a lot better. Yeah. We'll move on to the next game. This is an interesting one, and Snicko, you probably might like this one. Dolphins 12 versus Warriors 16. I'm just gonna say this. There was a really controversial call within this game. There was a knock on, and I am confident it was a knock on, or apparently people are saying it was not back. I think it was RTS that knocked the ball on, but the ref said play on. And obviously, Warriors just ended up winning that. It was a really good close game, I will say that. But definitely a real tricky one, to be honest with you, with the officials.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see that exact play, but I have seen that the Dolphins. They waited till the very last minute to try and string this one together. Rugby league's an 80-minute game. If you're gonna determine your whole game and whether you'd win or lose on one call in one moment from one referee, honestly, I think that you need to pull your head in a bit more, because having to be down 16-0 for the first 70 minutes of the game, come on, like that's your main issue, not the knock-on call.
Yeah, definitely. I do know. I will say this as like a hybrid Finn and Broncos fan. That the and I'm gonna get crap from the SRL for that now. I just know it. I will say this: the Dolphins seem to make a very big habit of doing that, and it's been very common since they've been inaugurated into the NRL. So honestly, like they need to kind of stop doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win games like that, are you? Good job from Herbie and Hammer. They're probably two of my, like, neutrally, two of my favorite players to watch when they're not playing Origin or playing the Storm. Really, really good stuff. Obviously, Herbie can't play Origin, but yes, I think that they've done well to come back there, but they need to get the backing of the rest of their team, to be quite frank.
Yeah, 100%. Well, they potentially might have Daly Cherry Evans next year, as I keep saying to myself and denying that he's not going to the Roosters.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sombrero, I think it'll get him.
We'll move on to the next game. This one actually had a bit of a shocker here. Cowboys 6 to Seagulls 24. I was not expecting the Seagulls to actually get up for this game, honestly. But there you go. Tom Trbojevic gets sin binned in the last minute of the game. So, I mean, Cowboys had an opportunity to come back in the last, I don't know, 1 minute of the
5
game.
seconds. He was binned in 79.56. So he had 4 seconds to try and do something.
Yeah. Score, I don't know, one try a second. Oh man. But yeah, good game from the Seagulls. Definitely a good bounce back that they needed. Then, well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to talk about this game. Sharks 31 to the Storm 26. Well, what happened here?
Well, I think it was just a breakdown that we've just seen. We saw it earlier in the week from the Roosters a bit. Just that first half, you're playing okay, and well, it was kind of the opposite, I guess. They played better in the second half of Melbourne, but they just didn't play all 80 minutes. And they really tried until the end, but it was just too late. The Sharks just simply outclassed them. The Storm probably went into the game thinking it was going to be easy, and the Sharks kind of ambushed them from there. You could see they were getting in their face. The Storm was getting frustrated, and that's what lost in the game. They just weren't composed.
Yeah, I will say this though, and I don't know if you're going to like this statistic. If Storm actually missed 2 conversions, if they actually got those 2 conversions, the final score would have been 31 to 30.
Yeah, I mean, Pavanelski, he had a couple shockers off the boot, and that'll happen. But yeah, there's not much you can do about that. They could have simply also just tried scoring more tries. So, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Braden Trindle, smart to kick that field goal at the end of the first half. And had Papenhuyzen gotten all his conversions, then that would have been the play of the week, probably, that we would be talking about right now.
Yeah, definitely. Would you are you disappointed just a sidetrack question. Are you disappointed that Ryan Pappenhausen didn't get selected for Origin?
Um, I'm disappointed that he didn't get selected, but I understand completely. I think Edwards is a very classy fullback. And Pappenhausen being at Melbourne for the next couple of weeks, it definitely won't hurt us considering Harry Grant will be coming back shortly. Was Harry Grant picked? I'm not too sure. But
He was picked for the game, but I don't think he actually. Oh no, he did play. Okay.
he did play, so he'll probably be playing Origin. So having Pappenhausen at the club during the Origin period when Munster's out and Grant's out, it won't hurt. It'll probably be good for us.
Statement from the chat here. Lucas Hardy says Jerome Hughes was non-existent last week. To be honest.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. He's had a couple of performances like that this season, so he needs to go back to the Dally M form, I think.
Well, yeah, true. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next game. And Will, I'm going to come and join that depression branch of yours. Broncos 26, Dragons 30. How Broncos lost this game, I don't know. It seems like the Broncos have this habit of like dominating in the first half and then the second half not even coming out of the sheds.
Yeah, no, I think all class from the Dragons here. The Broncos 12-0 at one point, was it?
Yeah, 14-0, I reckon.
14-0. Okay, so there you go. The Dragons, they've just come out and they've done quite a good job here. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Dragons. I think that my dad used to go for them, so I've got a bit of a soft spot. I thought that they just really showed a lot of heart to come out in that second half the way they did. Double to both Gutherson and Sloan. That's great effort, and I'm a big fan of Jacob Little at the moment, and especially that try. That was a really, really good individual try from him.
Yeah, definitely. I do have to kind of give props when props is due. But I will say that I was very disappointed in losing this game as a Broncos supporter, honestly. I will say one thing from the Broncos as well, and a shining light. And I know you guys are going to think this is completely controversial, but Ezra Mann's first game back, he was actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's actually trying out for the Denver Broncos, looking at that pass to who was it? To Shibasaki?
Yeah, to Shibasaki.
Yeah, floated forward off the hands. He had a decent game. I won't get into my thoughts on Ezra, but as a rugby league player, he didn't have a bad knock.
Yeah, fair enough. I definitely agree with that. The one thing I will say this, and I see Ezra copping the flack for this. I don't think Ezra deserves the flack for the forward pass because you're going to make mistakes as a player. Like, are you and Will, you could say because you were saying at the beginning of the stream, you've reffed games before. If a player does a forward pass and then stops and doesn't play to the whistle, obviously that team's coach is definitely going to spray that guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, that forward pass, I mean, he's done it obviously, but that is an egregious miss. You got a referee and 2 touch judges. They've got all these methodologies that are supposed to stop that from getting through the gaps. And that close to the line, the referee should have been right in line with that. There's no excuse to miss that. It's an egregious forward pass. I don't think anyone's even debating that it wasn't forward. To miss that, it's a pretty poor effort, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You can kind of see with the Broncos as well. They are missing Reece Walsh and Ben Hunt now. If I'm being completely honest, but I mean, I'm not saying Cobbo's a bad fullback, but he's definitely better on the wing than the fullback.
Yeah, I don't think he works in the Broncos system. They need someone flashy and fast out the back. And I mean, Cobbo's quick, but he's just a bit more of that, Latrell Mitchell, the big, bulky, Greg Inglis type of fullback that uses his strength rather than his agility. And I'm not too sure if that's what this system's been fine-tuned to, especially with Adam Reynolds at halfback. I think he prefers a much quicker fullback.
Yeah, I will say this as a side personal note. I have this evening booked my ticket to go to the Broncos Titans game in a couple weeks. That black jersey, I don't know if you guys were seeing last night on stream. I was frothing over it. Yeah. What do you think of that jersey, if you don't mind me asking?
I haven't actually seen it, so I'll have a quick look. But I'm sure they've done a good job. Let me have a look very quickly. Oh, wow. That is very black. Wow, that's you can't see much there. What's the event? What's the significance?
So in round 14, Broncos will be doing a mental health awareness round. And
Okay.
it's their charity jersey for Black Dog Institute, which
Oh,
with
I
mental
really
health
like
and
that.
stuff, that actually really means a lot to me. So yeah, I ordered my jersey straight away because honestly, like, how can you not?
It looks very clean. I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, I'm getting people in the chat, people in the chat saying like it looks like a Panthers jersey.
Yeah, well, good thing they're not playing the Panthers. That's what I'll say. But
Yeah,
they obviously know what the people want. They've made Jesse Arthur's model that on the website. So the
yeah.
Broncos, good marketing there from the.
Sorry, I don't get the joke with Jesse Arthurs, or is that actually like a good one?
No, it's a good one. No, he's a good looking bloke. That's what I'm saying. They know what the people want.
Yeah. Well, Jesse Arthurs and Corey Jensen and Katoni Stayers, it's like almost their most attractive players,
Oh
except
yeah.
Reece Walsh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So someone's like, okay, which good-looking player do we need to model this jersey? Reece Walsh. Can we think of other players besides Reece Walsh? Katoni
Yeah.
Staggs.
He's been busy boxing by the looks of it, old Reese.
Oh yeah. So just quickly on that as well. I'll quickly touch on that. That is they have like I kind of understand the Broncos' frustration with that because like they've just released this jersey for a really good cause and then this comes out kind of detracting from that. So I kind of understand why the Broncos are a bit frustrated, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of been blown out of proportion. The dude kind of consented to be punched, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he did consent to it. I don't know. He can actually get in legal trouble for that. That's the thing. Like, you can't actually
Yeah.
consent to that in Australia. And I think
Oh,
that's probably
really?
why. Yeah, I believe so. So I think unless it's within the realm of a professional sporting event, I'm pretty sure that you can't consent to that. So I think that may be why the Broncos are a bit upset with it because he could actually get in a bit of trouble for that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's actually understandable. But we'll see what comes of it. I don't think he'll be like
No, he'll be alright.
banned or anything. He'll definitely be fined and probably have to issue an apology.
Yeah, I don't think much will
Um,
come from it, but
yeah.
I think that's all it'll be.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like go off a tangent with that game. But we'll move on to the last two games. Just quickly, Raiders 40 versus Titans 24. Quite honestly, like if you weren't expecting the Raiders to win this game, like that's absolutely insane from you, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders, they actually at one point were tied with the Titans. You know, they were ahead by 12. Titans pulled back, and then the Raiders just went bang, 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 bang. Just a huge effort from them, and it could have been even worse. It could have been 48-24 if Fogarty got a few more kicks. So it was pretty crazy to just come out like that in the second half the way they did. The Raiders very strong this season. I'm actually quite enjoying them, watching them.
Yeah, could be a repeat of the 2019 grand final. Someone yells six again. That's
Oh
probably a bit
God.
too far. And then the last game, kudos to the Tigers for actually trying to stay in this game. West Tigers 12, Rabbitohs 22. Latrell's back, so honestly, like they should be winning they should be winning games now, the Rabbitohs. I could actually see them definitely making finals this year if they are able to keep on with their track record. I don't think the Rabbitohs are actually playing this week, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they do have the bye. So I think having Latrell back, having Latrell back is a big deal, honestly, like for them.
Yeah, he's a game changer for the Rabbitohs, and um, just the way he played. Well, I'm not too sure. It was a couple of weeks ago when he kicked that field goal. It just shows the X factor. To kick that goal, you know, from just under 50 meters out in the pouring rain, that is terrific, and he just shows that, doesn't he? He
No,
shows up at the moment.
I don't recall that
So,
game.
oh no, of course not. You wouldn't recall that game. I just realized that they were playing. I thought they were really good here. I thought Appy had a really good game for the Tigers, so I do feel for him. I feel for a couple of these boys in the Tigers
Yeah.
team because I feel like they're just not getting done well by their teammates at times. But yeah,
Well, they're
it was a tough
constantly getting
watch.
stabbed. They're constantly getting
Yeah,
stabbed in the back by one of their own. So there you go.
yeah. Oh,
Tough
Galvin, poor
Galvin.
Galvin.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's not Galvin,
he
I know, but yeah.
no, but that try, that Graham, great tackle, but certain try. and to knock the ball on over the line, even though it was forced, but to not have that secure, that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, like, I'm pretty sure the Tigers like would have won if they got that. I don't know. No,
Yeah,
it would have been. Yeah, it would have been
there would have
like.
still been a try down, but it could have been that could have been a chance. I think that
Oh
may have been able to bring them over the line.
no, converted try. That they weren't. They would have actually won. So if we take away 6 points, so that's 16 points. They would have scored 16, and then like they would have been at 16, and then the conversion would have been definitely doable for Dewey.
Yeah.
So they would have won by 2.
Oh, did the Rabbitohs score off the back of the
Yeah.
back of the error? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well there you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they were all lost hope, but then Jai Arrow scores one more to seal it. So, yeah, a bit of a shame, but yeah. I mean, can't fault out effort there for the Tigers. Honestly, like it was there, but yeah, an improvement definitely from last week. I mean, they scored points,
and didn't get 60 put on them.
Yeah, they're very, very true. But yeah, that's it for the round 11 results. Sorry that took a bit. We kind of did go on a couple tangents there. Any final words on this round, Will?
No, just all in all, pretty enjoyable round of footy. I think that we didn't really talk about the Mark. I can't say his last name. I apologize. Marky Mark try from the Roosters. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. Are you talking about that try like he was skirting on the sideline?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a freakish play.
That honestly, probably the luck of that is probably like 1 in a million.
Yeah, but that's junior. The rugby sevens coming through, just his ability to do that little short kick, and I mean the sevens players, they all know how to kick. So
Yeah.
you put any other winger in there, and you may not get the same result. I think.
Yeah. But yeah, no, all good. I think also just one more thing before we continue. My quick round review, by the way, I had a bit of a controversial choice with my round review. I actually had Ezra Mam. But I just thought, because I actually got I copped a bit of flack on Instagram the other day about this. And I was just like, I was trying to more like, I wanted to pick someone from a losing team this week. So I picked Ezra because he was just a shining light through the whole thing. And I know he gets a lot of flack for everything he does. And I'm not going to say it's deserved or not deserved because that's just going to start a whole freaking debate. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got 4 out of 8 for tipping. Do you do tipping like privately or like within a tipping comp or anything?
No, I'm not really good at tipping, and down here AFL is the main sport, so nothing really at work or anything. I probably wouldn't have done very well though this week. I mean, I would have taken Melbourne, probably would have taken the Finns, Knights, so I wouldn't have done very well.
Broncos.
I would have taken the Broncos.
Yeah. Well, my best team was definitely the Raiders because I definitely thought they performed really well. Worst team was the Knights, and my surprise team was the Sharks. Sorry, Will.
That's fair.
But let's move into the main meat of today's episode of the Galaxy Scrum, and that is we're gonna grill Will on some questions about the SRL and about the background of the SRL. So first question, Will, on a very serious note, I need to know, is the SRL rigged?
No, of course not. The SRL is not rigged in any way. There would be absolutely no point in me running it if it was rigged, because then it's just all of a sudden what I want it to be, rather than what the 300 plus members want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, just gonna quickly interject, Snicko Bro. Yeah, I do respond to chat. That's actually a good question. Snicko Bro has a good question about for you, Will. What is your favorite alt?
My favorite alt, probably my son Riley Murray. He's probably my favorite alt.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we don't have any alts. I think that, I mean, Muzza and a lot of the other staff members, I won't go into it, but they're very good at sniffing them out and finding certain patterns. So unless you're very, very, very good at hiding it, we will find you.
Yeah. They honestly, Discord's technology is really good with that stuff. So Yeah, yeah, definitely agree with that. Yeah, so Snicko Bro has another comment. The SRL is extremely rigged, as evidenced by the last season's grand final. Weren't you the captain, Snicko Bro, of the losing team? Shouldn't you just captain better?
I don't know if he can.
Oh, no, I couldn't resist. But we're actually getting some questions right now, which actually leads into the actual first question of the interview is what exactly is the Simulation Rugby League or SRL?
So the Simulation Rugby League is a controllerless sports league. So everyone will join up and go through our Discord and stuff, and we basically have a league of games. We've got 15 teams at the moment. We've got over 300 players active, and each single player is controlled by a user. So they get to control things like who they sign with, what positions they want to play, what they want to kind of upgrade, and they get to basically make a virtual career that is filled with in a league filled with people that are like-minded and doing the same thing. So it's a community where we can kind of nerd out about rugby league a little bit. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons for rugby league. I think that has been compared to. So he's been, it's been terrific to run, and it's a really, really good community to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. I will admit that I have rejoined it a couple times and I've dropped out. And it's like it's nothing with personal with the SRL. It's just I've been dealing with my own crap personally. But I have recently rejoined because I've been seeing what they're doing, and quite honestly, they're like the last time that I was in, I think it was like season 8. I before I left, right? If I recall, I don't know, but the dramatic change it has gone through, like. I believe since my last stint with it, you didn't even have the Tigers, and I think there was another team introduced as well. So that's like quite awesome. And I know you. I've talked to you behind the scenes a little bit, and you do have some ambition to get to all 17 teams, potentially 18 teams now with the Perth Bears getting announced.
Yeah, so 17 teams is our main goal within. Well, I would ideally like to have it by the end of the year, but it's all pending numbers. We need to make sure that we have enough players within the league to support the other 15 teams, and to make sure that if people do go inactive or they lose the Discord or where it is, there are people there to come into the teams and keep the league going. Right now, we have about 300 odd players. We've got 2 leagues. So we've got the Major League with the 15 teams, and then we've got the Mines, which is kind of like the Junior League, if you will, where players develop first. That's got 5 teams of 13. So yeah, we have big plans. We want to add. We've got every team except the Dragons and the Eels at the moment. We want to add those 2 teams before anything else, and then I guess we'll have a look at maybe adding an 18th team to make it even.
Yeah, definitely. So the Eels and the Dragons definitely 2 teams, and I know that we've had some Parramatta fans and some Eels fans. Parramatta fans and Eels fans. What am I saying? Eels and Dragons fans pop into the scrum now and again. So if you are interested in joining the SRL Discord, go and check out the Simulation Rugby League YouTube channel. I'm actually going to link that real quick. I think it's like at Simulation Rugby League, isn't it? Like, oh no, it's SRL TV.
SRL TV,
yeah. You can find everything that you need there if you want to join. If you do want to join up, it's obviously free for those who don't know, and you can support them directly on their I think it's Patreon.
Yeah, we do have Patreon. Completely optional. The league is 100% free to play.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, some really nice people there. I'll shout out some people. Obviously, Will himself, Muzza. There's Will. There's Snicko Bro. Snicko Bro's really nice. Shout out to my captain, Jack Jilly Jombus or Jack Cowhill on the actual server. Which, by the way, guys, for those who don't know, I actually am playing in the SRL. I am playing number 17 in the Broncos. So big shout out to Jack for inviting me on. And we've also got some other players as well. We've got Ollie. We've got Sonny. I didn't realize until today Sonny is also a is it Sonny? That's his name? Sonny is also a commissioner.
Yeah, so Sonny and I took over the commission in 2023. Oh, 2024. Must have been early 2024. And we are co-commissioners, so we split the work fairly evenly. And previously to that, last season he ran the mines and I ran the major league, and this season we're both running the major league due to work commitments and stuff. So without him, it's just not possible to do.
Yeah, 100%. And and on top of those guys, like you got like Tim James. I think he's still in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, he's still
around.
there. He's still around. And then there's also Eddie Oliver as well, which he's come in every now and again to the stream as well. So definitely some really good faces around there. Definitely would recommend joining if you can. And yeah, Jack Cowhill. Whoops, Jilly. I'm sorry. Whoops. But Butch, your arm dropped. Oh no. Well, it's been nice knowing you.
I don't know how you get dropped past 17.
You get 18th man.
Injury replacement, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jilly. But yeah, let's move on to the next question. So obviously you haven't always been commissioner of the SRL. So what, like, because the previous commissioner I recall, I think it was Lachlan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Like, what made you, like, first of all, like, what did Lachlan tell like why he wanted to drop, and like why did you want to go for the job?
Yeah, well, Lachlan actually took over from another guy who's Logan, and he started the league back in 2021, I believe. Lachlan, he was running this whole thing. He was doing a whole bunch of work, but you got to remember, like, he's not a fairly young bloke. Like, he's a young adult. Like, he's over 18 and all that, but he's got his life to live. And it's a big time commitment. And I think it was just that at the end of the day that he just couldn't commit the time, and he wasn't getting the enjoyment out of the committing of that time. So he made the very mature decision, rather than just slogging out and letting it die, to put it up for grabs basically, and say, if there's a viable person that wants to take over, it's probably better that someone else can run it from now on.
Yeah. I was just curious, like, just quickly curious, was it hard to like transfer all the players over? Because that definitely would have been difficult.
No, it actually wasn't hard to transfer all the players over at all. It was actually a really simple process with the fan hub. Back when we took over, it actually worked a bit better. It's pretty shocking at the moment. It is not working at all. But when the fan hub's working, all those things work really easily.
Yeah, I won't lie. That fan hub for Rugby League Live 4 has gone really downhill. Not so much the actual content. Like, we have some incredible artists doing, like, shout out to Spazza, by the way, Spazza and Senna, for doing Rugby League Live 4 jerseys and stuff like that. But I'm guessing this is the network architect. And don't blame Big Ant for this. This is not Big Ant's doing. This is True Blue.
Yeah.
Their servers are shocking. So hopefully when we get to Rugby League 26, which we're actually going to talk about shortly, hopefully Big Ant actually managed that and they're able to jump on it quickly. And I've heard good stuff about the fan hub on AFL 26 in terms of speeds and stuff, so that's really good.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I haven't heard much about the fan hub side of it, but I'm very happy about that. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So how did you become commissioner anyway?
It was pretty simple. Just put my hand up. Told Lachlan that if he wanted to give me the role, I would take it with both hands. And I think his response was, "Oh, I didn't ask you because I thought you'd be in a similar boat. You wouldn't want to take it." And then from there, it was, Sonny and I. We just took it on. Got straight to work, knuckling down, making sure that we could make the best experience possible. And that's basically just went from there. Just growing the league and working hard at it, and it's gotten to the point where we are today.
Yeah, definitely. You've done a really good job. And like, since you've actually taken over, like, I know you've reached out to me for modding stuff as well.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of like painting on the mods and stuff like that, which one thing I definitely need you should definitely look into, update that scoreboard, man.
I don't know how to do that. I'm not very good at the modding myself. But I really appreciate the people in the community they are. I'm pretty much only good for jerseys and field markings. And even field markings, as you know, can be a struggle.
Yeah, especially grand final ones.
Yeah, grand final ones. They they are difficult. But yeah, we've got a lot of great people, and I feel like the modding aspect of it, when we started introducing more and more modding into the league with the field markings, with the jerseys, I think that's when it really started to become its own thing, and that's kind of what makes it so interesting for people. That makes it so immersive, is that it's not the NRL and it is its own thing. And this is pretty cool. This is what we're doing, and we've got even down to the last detail, we've got our own referees now instead of the NRL referees or the default referees. So it really is a big aspect of making it immersive.
So how do you like how do you handle like the referees and stuff? Is it like people can submit their own players, like their own referees? I don't know.
Yeah, so for a while, it was actually a Patreon perk that your player would be a referee. We had to get rid of it because a lot of people signed up, and then so if you don't know, you actually can't copy appearance for referees. So I had to every time I make a referee, I've got to go through, look at every single setting for a player's face and body, and then take a screenshot of that for every single attribute, and then copy that through. So I took it off. I decided that doing 30 referees and it takes about an hour to do one probably wasn't a productive use of my time.
Nah, fair enough. I mean, like, if you ever want to do that in the future, you could just say, like, oh, you can upload your own referee if you want to. Like, because you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
download referees, yeah.
And that's still an option. If people really desperately want to be a referee, that is an option for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's cool that you don't have those guys anymore. I mean, it's kind of cool not to see Ashley Klein on the grand final night for SRL.
Be nice to see that in NRL grand final night as well.
I mean, 2023, man.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
We're not
that
going to
one.
get into that. Yeah, no.
Now, there's a bit of a deeper question. Obviously, the SRL community is very active. If you guys don't know, oh, actually, sorry. Before we continue, just my chat has said that your Discord link is not working. I'm guessing that's on the YouTube channel, folks.
Oh, that's not good. We'll get right onto that.
Yeah,
I'll have a look at that in a sec.
I've actually been sorry. This completely just hit my mind. I've been neglectful not to tell you this. There's a link. There's a few links I think on your social media profiles, where it doesn't link to the recent SRL website.
Yeah,
So
they're just really slow to change. I've tried to change them, and I think it's just a cookies thing or a caching thing from Instagram. So I've reached out. They said it'll fix itself out.
yeah, fair enough. Well, that's good. All right. Well, guys, thank you for letting us know on that, and
Yeah, thank you for that.
they will get right on that. But yeah, so back on this question, the SRL community is quite active. So how do you feel community engagement is important to the SRL?
I mean, I think that's the main reason the platform's done on Discord. We could have just had Google Forms. It wouldn't have been as easy to get people in, but it could have been done. Having that chat, we've got things. We talk about SRL, we talk about just general stuff. We have the NRL competition chats, and I think that kind of aspect. It's a group of like-minded individuals, for the most part, and I think that is what makes the engagement part of it so special. Like, people know each other. You make mates while you do it. You grow to know different people, and you just kind of get a different aspect of footy and socializing around footy.
Yeah, definitely. One of the reasons also, like, side note, like, one of the reasons I wanted to rejoin the SRL was because I was missing that aspect. And on my side for the Galaxy Footy, we're trying to build this now, and I feel like we're getting there almost. But I was missing that interaction from a footy side. I wasn't able to like go to a server and like talk about footy and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm glad that I've kind of got that back with the SRL, and yeah, that was one thing I was definitely missing from everything. But no, it's good. I really enjoy the community interaction and stuff. Just a bit of a tangent question here. There's like I want to get your opinion on this, and I don't know if it's going to be a controversial opinion or anything like that, but there's a significant amount of people in the so for those who don't know, there's a section in the SRL community where you can actually do player made content. There seems to be a significant use of AI generated stuff. What's your take on that, if you don't mind me asking?
I think that the use of AI generated stuff is okay. Um, as long as it's got something along with it. It can't in my opinion, I'm studying to be a school teacher, so I'm quite anti AI. But I think that in the context that it's used in the SRL, it's quite good. When you want an image of a player that doesn't actually exist doing something that you can't have in Rugby League Live 4, that's a great place to go, I think. And you can write an article, whether it's just them fronting a press or, we've had a few egregious ones, like very out there, funnily, not bad, just funnily. So when we have stuff like that, I think it's okay to use AI.
Have you
I do
got?
prefer Photoshop things though, because they're often done very shoddily and end up much funnier.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, I'm studying a lot with the AI stuff, and like, there's some real benefits to it, but at the same time, I understand like where people are coming from when it comes to like usage and stuff. Um, can you like on the topic of that? Like, there's been some funny ones and stuff. Is there anyone that come to mind?
Oh, jeez. I think most of the funny ones are just the banter stuff. Just when you got two mates who are obviously mates and they just hang crap on each other on the player made content. I think that's the best part. I really do enjoy some of the reads that I read pretty much everything in the player made content. I do enjoy some of the reads that the players put on about their own players or own teams, or even at times, people just talking about other players in the league and giving us a round review or whatever it may be. Um, if I had to choose one thing actually that comes to mind, it'd definitely be the Mayava's um, use of their game day posters. I don't know if you saw them. If you want to have a look through last season and the last couple of seasons, they are very amusing. Just with some of the game day posters they come up with.
I have to go and look for it. I don't see any right now, but off the top. But yeah, like if you guys ever join the SRL, for those who do join, um, I just sorry, I just saw this. Legacy continues. Will K's son join SRL Minds following in
Yeah.
Legendary's footsteps?
So there's quite a good few things on there, and I think that we've got some quite creative people in the league. So yeah, it's really. We've
Yeah.
got round breakdowns. We've got all sorts of things. So it's good for a designated space where people can post content that is just about the league and that they want to make because they find it interesting.
I do like shout out to my former team, the Rabbitohs here. They've actually updated their logo to be like 10 years of 10 seasons of the SRL Rabbitohs. So I think that's quite cool.
Yeah, I think it is. And stuff like that. Last season for the Tigers, it was their inaugural season. They had a different logo for their inaugural season. And clubs are more than free to do stuff like that if they want to have something significant. I think we've got a memorial jersey. We had a memorial jersey for Jake Scott last season. I think we've got one coming up this season of some sort.
Sorry,
Um,
I'm just with
Not
the
dead,
sorry.
not death. Sorry. I should
Okay, good.
clarify. He
Okay.
just left. He's just
Okay.
dead in our hearts. No, he just retired. So just a thank you jersey more than anything. Bit like the Cam Smith, was it 300, 400 jersey? Something like that.
400. Yeah. Jeez, where was my jersey when I left? I'm kidding.
It's a question for the Rabbitohs, I think.
No. My memorial jersey would be like all of them flipping me off. Probably.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just a quick question from the chat here. I've got a question about the SRL. Who makes the players, them or us? I'm assuming them means you guys.
So you guys fill out a form. You get to choose your name, position. There's different archetypes that you can choose from. So you don't get to control all your base stats, but you get to control, whether you want to start off as someone that's quicker or someone that's better at breaking tackles or more fit or more strong or whatever it is based on your position. And then you got a whole bunch of different things that you can choose. The player will then be made in game by our staff, so you don't have to own the game or anything. And that's what I think is a good part because I think a lot of our members actually don't own the game. And then from there, that player will be used in the mines, and you get to control what they upgrade and what their player movements are and all sorts of things. So it's basically a Google form, and in the game we actually make it, but it is up to you how you want it to be made.
But for those guys who do want to buy Rugby League Live 4, you can buy it on Steam. Oh, wait a minute. No, you can't. Never mind.
If you have the
Yeah.
game and you want a certain look for your player, you're more than free to upload that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've done, obviously. We got Mr. Matt Galaxsi rocking a dark red piece of headgear, and I've got actually strappings and stuff on and all that. We'll move on. First of all, we got a question from chat. Sneeko Bro wants me to ask you about the Selena Gomez Avo post.
I actually have not seen that yet. So, wait, Selena Gomez?
Yeah, Selena
Oh,
Gomez.
not Sabrina Carpenter. Okay. Yeah, I've got no comment on that one. That's I don't even know.
Nah, fair
We
enough.
get some good stuff, and then we get some dribble
Yeah,
on Playmate
sounds.
content.
I remember someone like going on like Selena Gomez was their girlfriend or something. Like I was just like, what are you on?
Oh, the AVO. Oh no. Yeah, no. Now I know what he's talking about. Yeah, that's funny.
Is it work safe?
Oh yeah, it's just being like Dom can't come within 15 feet. That she got a restraining order on Dom. She doesn't know who he is. Who made the post about his player allegedly dating her. So yes.
Oh wait, I know who that is. Yeah, okay. Isn't it like Dom Young of the SRL or?
Yeah, Dom Young of the SRL, who went on about how Selena Gomez, and then someone made a post about quote unquote quoting her, saying, "I've got no clue who this man is."
Oh man, join the SRL because you actually get some funny stuff. Honestly,
There's some good banter. It is enjoyable.
Yeah. We'll move on to an actual question back onto the actual SRL, like the actual the actual games themselves. This is more of a BTS question. Like, what does a typical game week look like for the SRL team? Like behind the scenes, how much goes into preparing each match? You know.
Yeah, so Monday, Tuesday, those player upgrades are coming in, obviously. Often we'll be paying out coins still from... Oh, no, but Monday, Tuesday, we should not be. And coins will be paid out, so we have an in-game system that basically means the better you are at tipping, the more upgrades that you can get. But everyone still gets a base upgrade. So you got your weekly upgrades Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, usually those are applied, and you're looking at just a game day on Wednesday. Bit of a breather for us, and sometimes I'll apply some of those upgrades and add them to the game. And then Thursday, 12 p.m., team lists are due from captains. They go into the channel as soon as I can physically do it. And then from Thursday through Monday, games are being recorded when we can. So we've got 7 games a week. That's 7 hours. A game goes for about an hour. 7 hours of recording. Then we've got to edit, export, upload, as well as, if anything comes up, sometimes we'll have to re-record if there's a technical issue or whatever it may be. You got to pick up a slack because something's come up for someone else. So yeah, it's a time intensive thing. All in all, probably spending 20 hours a week between Sunny and I, just getting everything ready to go for the community when game day hits on Monday afternoon.
Yeah. And obviously, obviously, and there's also effects and stuff as well. Like you actually have to go through. I'm guessing you're the editor of like all the videos and stuff.
Yeah, so if you record, you edit, and it's a system I'm very happy we brought in because we tried the other way with me editing everything, and it's just not feasible. The quality just goes so far down. But yeah, you record, you edit. So I'm probably recording. I mean, last season I was doing 7 games a week at some stages, so that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's more like I'm doing 4 and Sunny's doing 3 nowadays. So it's a lot more manageable. But yeah, if you record, you edit for the most part, and that's something that I'm happy that we do. But it means that only a few people can record because not everyone knows how to edit, and that can kind of restrain who is doing whatever in that role.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a really good system. Like you film, you edit, and honestly, like that's like your whole system working together and all that. So I'm guessing, like, obviously, you when you filming, that's either you or Sunny, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously you have your guest commentators as well. Like I think Snicko was it was Snicko. He was on the Broncos Rabbitohs game, and
Yeah.
Snicko, I heard him saying some stuff about me when I came on the field. So that was funny.
Yeah, we've got a great commentary team. Just passionate blokes that are happy and enjoy the community. And we're very happy that it's good when I don't have to scream at the top of my lungs for 4 hours straight. I can have a bit of a break. Um, they're they're excellent. So I'm very happy that we've got the commentary team that we do.
So, quick fun fact: last season, not the season just gone, but the season before, Will screamed so hard in the previous game that when he went to the grand final, he basically lost them the game.
Oh gosh, yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
because that was the one the Bulldogs won. Hey,
yeah. So Melbourne have been a strong team, just like in real life. But yeah, we you gotta lose one to win one, don't you? So it was a tough watch that game, but it was really really good. That a relatively new team, won the league. That only joined in season 7, so to win in season 8 for them, that's a great turnout. I reckon that's a really really good um showing of, even it didn't have to be an established team or deeply established to be successful.
didn't the Melbourne Storm in the NRL actually do that? Like they joined one year and then won the next year.
Yeah, they joined in '98 and beat the Dragons in the grand final in '99.
Wow, damn! They've never left, have they?
No, no, they have never left. They've been a thorn on the side for quite some years
Yeah.
now, especially
Yeah,
if you're
that's
a
the
para fan.
that 1999. Wow, that 1999 grand final. That's the only grand final they've won without Craig Bellamy.
Yes, yeah, he's just been there for basically the whole ride. I think it came in 2003. I think it was.
Yeah,
So he's been there for a long time.
yeah, definitely. He's definitely one of the goats of all time with Craig Bellamy. Yeah, now he's up there probably with Bennett, and he's definitely up there with Bennett and now Ivan Cleary as well. Not to mention last year. Sorry. I guess another question. I didn't put this on the initial questions, but before we get into the next one, do you have any stories of like goofs that the SRL has done?
Goofs, silly things that we've done.
Yeah, like you've made like obviously like mistakes are a thing, in human, like mistakes are inevitable, but like in the SRL, have you ever done one before?
Not in a commissioner standpoint, I don't think. I mean, obviously, my player, when he used to play halfback, he was very, very bad. There's been a couple things, I think the one that comes to mind was actually before I was commissioner, and it was Lachlan Martin recording a game. And there's this one glitch, right, with Rugby League Live 4. It's a camera glitch, and it just messes up how the defense line moves. And he spent about 8 in-game minutes trying to reset it because he couldn't manage to kick a ball into touch. So yeah, there's actually a clip of it on our YouTube Shorts if you want to have that one. That's probably the biggest goof I've seen, just because it was silly.
Oh,
Silly
okay.
Situation.
I might have to look for that because that sounds pretty funny. But that didn't make the final recording, did it?
No. It did not.
So the reason I bring this up is because while you were talking about something, I actually had a core memory unlock from the SRL. I remember one time there was a Mines game. This was like one of the first seasons I joined. I woke up one morning and I think it was supposed to be the Firehawks versus another team. Might have been the Blue Tongues. I woke up one morning and it was being broadcasted. I'm like, what's going on here? And the Firehawks ended up winning. Yay, Firehawks. But someone actually pinged the channel and be like, is this game supposed to be on at like 5 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, no, that would have been a goof. I think I'd done that in the SRL, like in the top grade when I became commissioner of the top grade, not just the mines. But I think someone picked it up before it broadcast, so we got very lucky in that situation. But yeah, that is something that can happen, especially because YouTube is an absolute pain sometimes when it comes to scheduling.
The reason I remember that is because it did actually finish the game, and Firehawks ended up winning that game. But then I think there was an announcement from Lachlan saying like, "Oh, we're going to refilm the game," and then Firehawks ended up losing.
Yeah, I think that happened. I remember that. That was a couple. Yeah, that was a long time ago now. Jeez.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my god. I remember I was being in character, but I was so passionate about that. I was just like, you rigged the SRL.
Yeah, that was. I think that we've come a long way since then. I think with organization.
Who was Who was the captain at the time of the Firehawks? I think it was
Maybe in Hillier? No, he would have been in by then.
no. It was I think he's still playing now. Dylan Sharp. No, Sharp was like one of the early guys for that. I don't recall, but it was like a really like the captain we had was like really like on like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it could have been Sharpie. I'm not too sure. That it sounds about right. I'm not too sure
Was
exactly when he got pulled into the Seagulls squad. I think it might have been season 5.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, because that was his debut. We were like congratulating him and stuff like that. I remember that. Wow, that's like one of my first memories from it. Speaking of moments, do you have any favorite SRL moments or matches so far as the commissioner of the SRL?
Or I mean, I've got to say, winning that first grand final against the Knights, for the Storm was really, really good. I remember being in the chat, and I think that's what made it for me. Not the fact that we won, but the fact that all the teammates showed up in the voice call, and we were all watching it, and just having a good time and just enjoying each other's company. I think that's probably one that comes to mind. Other than that, it is the New South Wales dominance instead of Origin. Go the Blues. That has been happening since before I was commissioner. But I'm very happy that it is happening now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, if I'm being honest. Being a
Oh,
Queenslander
neither.
myself. Being a Queenslander myself. Hey, maybe this is the year I finally play for Queensland. You never know. And I just
It
dominate the Origin arena.
could be.
Sorry, I'm just having denial dreams.
And it's just come to me. Your captain was Alan Berkeley. That's who your
Oh,
captain was
oh
from
yeah, I
all that
remember.
time
Yeah,
ago.
because we made the grand final, didn't we?
You sure did.
Yeah, because I remember I was watching that game because I think it was actually grand final day, Panthers versus Eels in the NRL, and I remember watching that grand final, and I think there was a field goal attempt at the end from the Firehawks that just put us in the lead, like we're about to win, and then I think there was like a final minute try, and that gave it to the Blue Tongues. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
it was at the very end. If you watch that, you will hear my voice scream. I actually lost my voice after that.
yeah.
There was a howling call in that one.
Yeah, I remember like that the start of the second half. Like immediately I think Blue Tongues kicked off. No, it was us. We kicked off and then like immediately the first tackle there was a big hit and you just went like, "Oh!"
Yeah. Some of the mines was just so fun that season. I think everyone looks back on that season and just in really positive light that the mines was a really fun time in
Yeah.
that season. Just because there's so many passionate people, a lot of which are now captains. So it shows that um, the passionate people they've really enjoyed it and have stuck around, and it was a really fun time to be a part of.
Quite honestly, if I'm being completely on, oh wow, if I'm being completely honest, I probably like if I didn't have all the crap that happened to me with like my mental health and stuff, like I probably would have pushed to be a captain at one point.
Yeah, I think you'd
Because
still make a good option there, mate.
yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Do you have any other SRL moments or anything that you enjoy?
Oh, mate, there's a lot to enjoy. I'd be here for hours. I think just Matty Harris just taking me under his wing a bit, and when I first came in, I think I came in quite a few years ago now, about 4 years ago. So to come around and be a young bloke and learn about a bit more about rugby league, and um, I mean, I know it's obviously online, but just learn a bit about humility and just some values that are instilled in teams. It's good to have that mateship, even on an online platform. So I think it just all comes down to the social aspect of it for me,
Yeah.
personally. I do like, however, Eddie Oliver getting sin binned at the start of last season. That was very good in round one.
I think you messaged me just to tell me that too.
It was very amusing. It was very amusing.
Yeah. Eddie, shout out to Eddie. He's awesome. But yeah, he's good. Rugby has a question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. I think it was like season 1. Have the Warriors won the SRL yet?
No, they have not. They played in a grand final in season 1. They lost to the Eels, who are actually not in the league at the moment because of poor performance.
Oh wow.
But the Warriors got very, very close a couple seasons ago, like extremely close. They played a prelim against Melbourne, which went to the 90th minute, I think, or 90. I think we went to Golden Point after 2 periods of extra time. So they are a strong side. They have not quite gotten there yet. But to be fair, there's been a few dominant sides that have won a couple times now. But I think we're going to see a lot more diverse winners, in terms of premierships, coming through in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, and all of them are going to be Melbourne Storm.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. It's boring. Storm dominance could bore fans.
Look, honestly, as a commissioner, you're hoping that's not the case, but as a Storm fan, you secretly hope it.
Oh yeah, there's always that aspect to it, but I do hope a new team gets up.
Yeah.
A different team rather.
Yeah, so
might have been the Warriors. Oh, sorry.
So all good. Definitely, it would be even if it was the SRL or even the NRL, the Warriors winning a competition would be huge.
Oh yeah, I was on the Wars train, in 2023. Even when in that prelim where the Broncos won, I really wanted the Wars to get up. I think it'd be a great story in the NRL. So I definitely want it to happen in the. We've got a lot of New Zealanders in the SRL, so I'd love for it to happen in either league. So whether SRL or NRL, just to see their reaction, because New Zealanders, they're diehard league fans.
Just quickly, by the way, for the listeners here, there's a state. I don't know if you're still running this or not. I just haven't been paying too much attention to this, but state of origin in the SRL is very different from what it is in the NRL. So obviously you have Maroons and the Blues, but you also have the New Zealand state of origin as well.
Yeah, so we did for a while. That's saying that we're going to move away from, and instead we're going to favour some, if you remember the rep round that we had a few years ago in the NRL. So we're doing something more like that, with the Pacific nations playing each other. So we've got international footy as well. Just because the New Zealand origin didn't quite meet the quotas that we wanted them to, in terms of viewership and engagement.
Yeah, 100%. But no, that's all good. I mean, I when I saw it, I thought it was a really cool thing. I'm a big fan. I honestly felt like we you guys were going in a more unique direction with the SRL with that. And I think as well, you've also got your commissioner games at the end of the seasons as well. So that's really cool to have that. But also having that unique twist on it as well. It gives a more unique approach to the SRL and kind of differs it from the NRL as well. I've actually had this question before. I just remember. Just quickly, why is it called the SRL Mines?
So it actually started as a nines competition, and Logan, who is the old commissioner. So the mines started after I got chatting with Logan all the way back in season 2, because my play started in season 2, and I just had to wait. There was nothing for me to do. I just had to wait. I couldn't upgrade, couldn't do nothing. I just had to wait until the next season. So I talked to him about that, and so we made this competition. We only had enough players for a couple teams of nines sides. So we played them, and because it's the minor league, that's why it's called the Mines. That's just kind of what it came, and then I just, it's a legacy name, so I like the Mines name. I think I like it. It's a bit different rather than calling it Cup or Schoolboys or anything. it's good to have the
Yeah.
mines.
Nah, it's all good. Although I just realized that I had some questions in the chat and I was avoiding it because I thought it was just going to sound weird. But is that why people are asking who's your favorite miners?
Yes. No, they're just pests. They're just pests. I'm pretty sure that's John Boy and Snicko. They're just
Yeah, pretty
pests.
much.
Asking who
Yeah.
my favorite mine players are. Mines players.
Mike, oh, we got a call out in chat. Mike Borson says that's not the truth. Don't lie, Will.
I'm not sure what the truth is, or what part of it he's denying.
Um, just
I get, yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that. Just a rugby's question as well. Do you start the off in the SRL or do you start off in the mines? You start off in the mines. I can answer that for you. But also like, just quickly on the mines, I'm pretty sure like you enter the mines and then I think each mines team has a feeder team.
So it doesn't work like that as much anymore, just because it's a logistical nightmare when you got 15 teams in the comp.
Yeah.
But what we do have is that you start in the mines, and then if a team notices you, they'll sign you as a dev player. So you're kind of in and around that group, and if they have an injury or a suspension, it means that you're one of two players that can be called up into the squad for a first grade game, for a premiership game. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things that we've brought in as well, because it does. If you are waiting around in the mines, and it won't be too long, it's usually only a season. And I think if you want to join now is the best time to join, because our numbers are looking good enough for a 16th team in season 11. But it's a fun competition to be a part of regardless. So I would hope that it wouldn't deter anyone, because the mines is actually probably, I think a lot of people say it's one of their favorite parts of the league, just having that kind of original take, because all the mines teams are completely original. They are not like representative of any NRL team.
Well, yeah, I mean, they are original, but also the logos are from the actual
game.
rugby.
Yeah, from the base game.
Yeah, up the Hawks, up the Firehawks. Well, we're kind of coming to the end of this little interview here, but I do have one question. And I think we could kind of split this into two questions as well. Like, actually, my first question before I get into this, which team is the priority to get in? Is it the Dragons or the Eels?
Oh, in an ideal world, I want to bring both in at the same time, so I don't have to choose. Like I said, I've got a soft spot for the Dragons, but I don't think we have that many Dragons fans. And at the end of the day, a lot of people want to play for the club they follow. We've got quite a few Eels fans, so I reckon it'd probably be the Eels. But it'd be a long-winded discussion with the person that we pick for that captaincy. They'll get a say, the community gets a say, and it'll be a thought-out process. It's not going to be a flippant decision. It'll be something that is taken into consideration over a bit of time. But I think that the aspect that there's a lot of Eels fans will probably help out the Eels a bit.
Mike says Bears over both.
Bears over both. I see.
So, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, but obviously this has been like almost headline news for the rugby league community in terms of video games. But Rugby League 26, apparently due out in July. Obviously, like kind of like looking at Big Ent's track record. And I'm not trying to like bash Big Ent, but they have a track record of releasing games that are pretty buggy to start off with, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they would work on to get it better, but would there be any plans to move the SRL into the new game?
Yeah, well, I think there's a huge market there. If we move into that new game, there's a lot of potential for new players. But it's something that's going to go under a lot of consideration. We haven't made our mind up at all, nowhere near. And before I do anything, I want to do extensive testing on the new game to see what the bugs are, what the known issues are, what the gameplay's like as a simulation, and all sorts of things, how we can merge players if we want. But there would be interest in moving there, because I think that after 8 years, I am ready to move on from Rugby League Live 4. I'm ready to see something fresh, and maybe, I'd hope something well improved in terms of what is actually representative of Rugby League in real life, because Rugby League Live 4 is quite a blocky system. I'd like to see, hopefully, a bit more flow in whatever the next rugby league game is. I don't know about the July release though. I'll believe it when I see it, I think, from Big
Yeah.
Ed.
Yeah, I'm a bit skeptical on the July release, but at the same time, like a lot of sources are saying July, but they're still finishing player scans and stuff, so I don't know if that's true. But yeah, I mean, I guess that you're happy. You're definitely happy that we're getting a new video game finally after almost 8 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a long, long time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm hoping they go a bit more in the direction of Rugby League Live 3 because that's quite fluid. So I just hope that they listen to some fans and what they want because they have the potential to make this really, really good. They've had a long time to work on it. I know obviously they haven't been working on it for 8 years, but they've had a long time to work on it and to brainstorm just here and there. So
Do you
hopefully they can bring some good things.
do you foresee any, like, if you do move to that game, do you foresee any big challenges?
I think the biggest challenge would be how the stats work in the new game. Like it'll make a decision either really easy or really hard. If they've got the exact same stats, you got your strength, speed, all that, and like your side steps, your passing. If that's the same as Rugby League Live 4, I think all of a sudden that makes moving over to the new game, as long as it's not buggy, really easy. I find that unlikely that it's going to be the exact same, and that is where we find the challenges of how we keep our current audience and how we encourage a new audience if we are to move to that game, and that may be the make or break for whether we do or do not move. Because I don't want to make it so that the people that have been with us for the last 4 or so years, all of a sudden, all their hard work and the time they've put in means nothing, or means not much to them. Like it's not reflected in the new system, in the new game.
Surely they would, like, you could almost translate the stats to almost like similar stats. Like obviously, like for example, if they added like strip chance or like one-on-one strip chance and stuff like that, then obviously that might be a new stat. But I'm pretty sure like you could almost like look at both the stat sheets and be like, okay, so this could translate to this could translate to this. But yeah, I guess also like you got to keep you got to keep in mind like there's also new stats that could pop up as well. Like I'm pretty sure in Rugby League 26 there's going to be a stat for field goals.
Yeah, I mean there is one. There is one in Rugby League like 4 for field goals.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, in the kicking options, there's a field goal option. There's drop kick and field goal.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. So there's actually individual kicking stats for Rugby League Live 4, which I think is a big thing going into the next game, whether they summarize that or whether they expand on it. In an ideal world, they either have the same stats or they've got the same stats and more. And then that makes our job really easy.
That honestly explains a lot when it comes to like why certain, like for example, like I'm playing like fixture showdowns and I pass to like the playmaker and they take the shot, and like most of the time in my case it's so crap because it's like 5 meters away from the goalpost. Like what are you doing? But then I like pass it to like Reece Walsh if I'm playing as the Broncos and he gets it like down the middle.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
I didn't even know it was a stat. I might have to look at that because that's probably why I'm doing so crap at field goals.
Yeah, so it is a stat. And yeah, it's actually interesting if you're playing against so we've got the simulations, but if you're playing against AI, it won't necessarily be a playmaker that will kick it. It will actually it could be a player that has a high goal kicking stat, a field goal kicking stat, because we saw in the Mines grand final we were talking about earlier, for the Firehawks, you had Tallis, I can't remember his last name, Tallis something, and he was a halfback primary. He was playing at prop off the bench, and he kicked a field goal from about 40 out or 30 out or something, even though he was in the prop position. So he technically had a prop kicking a field goal.
I was like
so
saying like that.
That's sign to know for you.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure as well, like just a side note, if you're playing in the mines, there's a good chance you might be playing out of position too.
Yeah, and I think that actually opens up a lot of things. Like if you're a forward, you're playing the forwards. If you're a back, you're playing the backs. Generally speaking, There's not going to be really any exceptions out of that, so it's not going to be a huge out of position thing. But it can be a rewarding thing nonetheless. To be able to play in a whole bunch of different positions and just yeah, try out some different things before you get cracking in the first grade.
Nah, understandable. And well, Will, thank you so much for these interviews. We're going to get into the upcoming round. We'll go through them real quick together. But if you guys are interested in joining the SRL, go and check out their YouTube at SRL TV. The recent game that just was put out there was the Dolphins versus the Raiders. I won't spoil the score, obviously, because I don't want to. But and if you guys want to come and see me play, go watch the Broncos v Rabbitohs game, which was the opener of the entire season. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the link doesn't work for joining. Yeah, so Will's team's gonna have a look at it.
It should work now. I have changed that, so it should work now on the server.
All right, let me see if that's actually working. I might need to refresh it though. No, I got it. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. Yeah, actually, I think Pancakes joined. We've had a few people join, which is really cool. So from this stream, and hopefully we get some more guys from Spotify. So Will, thank you so much. Is there any like final selling points you want to do for the SRL, like to sell them over?
I don't know. I hope I've done enough, but I mean, it's a great place to be. It's a great community to be a part of. And it really is just really enjoyable. I think that you'll find that you can find an appreciation for the SRL, you can find an appreciation for rugby league. And we're all passionate fans as the next bloke. So I think that everyone in there loves the game. And I think that's what all brings us together.
100%. Well, Will, thank you for the interview. Let's get into the upcoming round, guys, and let's see who's taking on who. Now, it is an Origin affected round, so again, if you guys want to hear our talks for Origin, I'm going to be streaming next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go through Origin lists. We're going to go through potential matchups. We're going to be just looking at State of Origin, which I am really excited to get into. So this round is only 5 games. So let's get into it. So the first game is at a core stadium. It is the Bulldogs v the Dolphins. This is a really interesting game. Now the Bulldogs are the heavy favorites for this one. Will, you got any comments on this game?
The Bulldogs, I think that they'll probably take this one home easy in the end. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, although I can see some issues with some of their lineups, namely Max King and Stephen Crichton both out. With Origin, it could create some vulnerabilities, so to say, for their kind of leadership. Max King has really established himself as a leader in that front, and of course their captain is Stephen Crichton. So I think that if the Dolphins are able to exploit that, they could come away with a surprise win here.
Yeah, but the one thing that Dolphins don't have, they have lost Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, so they've lost that strike in the back. But Jake Avarillo does move to fullback there, so that's really good. Yeah, I'm actually going to tip Bulldogs 13+. I still they are missing Crichton, they are missing King, but I do think they still have that firepower to beat the Dolphins. And I will be honest, the Dolphins are not doing that great, so this should be an easy win for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Bulldogs 13+ as well. I think it's a reasonable gamble there.
I will say this though. If the Dolphins get up for this game and they do win, that means that the Dolphins have defeated every single team in the NRL.
Oh,
which is
wow. That'll be good.
So coming into this season, the only 3 teams they had not beat were the Bulldogs, Panthers, and Storm. They've beaten the Storm. Sorry, Will. They've beaten Penrith, and they have not beaten the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are the only team that have not beaten. That could change this week, and that would be really good if they did that. Moving on to the next game, our Friday night game is the Parramatta Eels versus the Sea Eagles. Interesting here, the Sea Eagles are actually the favourites for this one.
Yeah, I'm actually not surprised at all. They've got no Moses or Lomax. They are going to struggle. They are going to struggle big time, as we saw them struggle without Moses for the first few rounds. it's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure. Obviously, missing Daly Cherry Evans and Jake Trbojevic for the Seagulls, but I think Tom Trbojevic, he's just going to shine in this game and probably rip and tear them. I think this is going to be a very comfortable win for the Seagulls, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I definitely agree with that. Now, I will say this. If Tom Trbojevic was selected for Origin, I'd be more inclined to tip the Eels. But Seagulls, like, just having Tom Trbojevic still in that side, that's enough. And obviously, the GOAT, the one and only Luke Brooks, is also playing as well.
Yeah, I think Brooks will stand up in a like a ball playing and kind of organizational role. And Tom Trbojevic, he's named as captain. He's gonna be out for blood. I reckon he will be on his top game, to try and win back an Origin jersey of some sort.
100%. So I'm going to go Seagulls. I'm only going to go 1-12 because I think missing Daly Cherry Evans, they do lose some strike power, but I do think it's enough to beat the Eels though.
I think Seagulls are going to win comfortably, 13+.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Let's move over to the next game. This is Saturday. This is one of the 2 Saturday games. It is a Penrith home game up against the Knights. This is not at CommBank though. This is at Bathurst, Carrington Park. Look, honestly, the Panthers actually have a lot of outs. Brian Toto, Dylan Edwards, Isaiah Yeo, Isaiah Papali, Liam Martin, Luke Garner, and Nathan Cleary. But the Knights have a big out in Kalen Ponga and Jacob Saifiti. What are your thoughts on this?
I think that the outs of the Panthers outweigh the outs of the Knights. I mean, Ponga, he's a big out. Saifiti, similar thing there. But Fletcher Sharp's been absolutely killing it at 5'8". Tyson Gamble comes in that spot instead. I think that they're going to be okay. The Panthers, we've seen what Dane Laurie can do at fullback. It's not a whole lot. Their halves are a mess without Cleary. Yo is the driving force of the team. I don't even know. It's Lindsay Smith. Yeah, it would be Lindsay Smith playing lock. No Liam Martin. And like you said, no Isaiah Papali'i, Luke Garner. I think they're going to probably struggle. I think the Knights may be able to get a cheeky win here.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think even with the big outs that the Panthers have, I think losing Ponga is a big out compared to the Panthers. Like, obviously losing Cleary and Edwards in their spine is definitely a big loss. But I think, like, because most of the strategy that the Knights have is relying on Kalen Ponga. If you shut down Kalen Ponga, then a good majority of the Knights fall apart. Like, they have their shining lights, don't get me wrong, but Kalen Ponga is almost like you need him for Knights to win. Now, if the Knights get up for this game, I feel like there'll be a lot of questions around Kalen Ponga. So I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to tip Penrith 1-12. But I'm just not that confident in the Knights because I feel like Knights are just, I don't know, they're in a bit of shambles at the moment.
I'm going to back the Knights here. I'll go 1-12 for the Knights. I reckon they'll bounce back after this week. They'll have been drilled hard during the week. And I think, the experienced heads, probably Gagai, Frizzell, they'll probably try and motivate their team to get the job done.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the next game. I'm actually going to change my tip. We're going to go ahead. So the next game, and this must be home away from home round because it's the Roosters v Sharks. It's a Roosters home game and it's at Gosford. So yeah, first of all, who decided to put this game in an Origin affected round should be like, why? Second of all, the Sharks don't have any notable outs. But the Roosters don't have Angus Crichton, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Nafua White, Robert Toya, and Spencer Leniu. Those are some big outs for the Roosters.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them. I think that losing Connor Watson, especially at hooker, he has been really good to start this season. I saw something from the random stats guy that he was the number 1 statistical hooker for the Blues eligible hooker, that is. So far in the season, so he's probably up in the top 3 for the league. That's gonna be huge. They're gonna lose a bit of direction through there. You've got Marky Mark playing in the centers instead. I don't know if he's had much of a tryout in the centers yet. Robert Toya's out. You lose a lot of star power in Crichton and Collins in the forwards, and the Sharks are basically unchanged. They've lost a winger. It's not going to be much different for them. Stone Street is a good winger, but really all they need in his placement is someone that can finish. And wingers these days, they're all very, very come stock standard in their ability to be able to finish. Usually they're only getting picked on the extras. So I think, yeah, it's an absolute crime that this has been Origin affected around this game. I think that the Sharks should be able to pull through with a win here.
I think Sharks win comfortably, 13 plus. I just realized, by the way, Sharks seem to be the only team that don't have any Origin players.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. You got Nico Hines. He got done so dirty a couple seasons ago. And then a lot of these players are actually New Zealand reps, aren't they? So, I mean, not Fanua Blake, he plays for Tonga. I think Oregon Kafusi plays for Tonga as well. Nakora plays for New Zealand. I mean, I'm surprised McInnes didn't make this squad, but I don't know how he's been performing. And yeah, I mean, the Sharks, it's been the story of the last couple of seasons. They always get easy draws, don't they?
Yeah, they were again got the easiest draw this time around. And honestly, they've been performing decently, but there's certain games that they should have won that they lost. Like the Tigers game was definitely one of those.
Yeah, there's definitely some games. But I think coming off a good win from Melbourne, I reckon I'll also take Sharks 13 plus over the Roosters.
Yeah. And the final game over at Go Media Stadium, Auckland, it's a 4:05 game, but it's actually a 6:05 game over in New Zealand. It's the Warriors versus the Raiders. Now, this is a Vegas rematch from Vegas. So the big outs for the Warriors are James Fisher-Harris, Eddie Lamea-Torova, and Mitch Barnett. Mitch Barnett is on Origin duty. But then on the Raiders side, the other big loss they have is Hudson Young, who is also on Origin duty. But they've got some I don't know if Raiders look actually unchanged besides Hudson Young, actually.
Yeah, they would be.
Yeah, 100%. So this is I feel like this is actually going to be a tough game to tip.
Yeah, I mean, Raiders absolutely pumped them early in the season. What was it, 30 to something from memory in Vegas? 30 to 8, there you go. I think that these two teams are very evenly matched. We've got a second versus third clash. That's exactly what you want. Losing James Fisher-Harris and Mitchell Barnett's going to be a challenge for the forward pack of the Warriors. That's your two starting props. You got Jackson Ford there. He can stand up in that occasion. But I'm not too sure about Bunty Afoa being able to match the likes of Corey Horsburgh and Joseph Tarpanay. If the Raiders take it through the middle, I think that they'll be able to build a really easy game plan off that and probably just be able to put this one to bed real easy. Although I hope not. My heart's telling me Warriors because Luke Metcalf he's one of my favorite players at the moment.
Can I just say, at the beginning, because this was the first round of the game, like first round of the entire season, did you ever think that these two teams would be second and third on the ladder?
No, but at the same time, I also didn't think that the Panthers would be 13th. So it's been a bit of a wacky season. I would never have thought especially the Raiders. I thought the Warriors would be out there, but I didn't think the Raiders would get to the point that they are. I think there's a lot of Raiders doubters before we started the season, so it's not something I expected. But I'm happy that it's some different teams being up the top here. It's good for the sport.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tip that one to be Warriors 1-12. I think Warriors win that only on home field advantage though.
Yeah, I think Warriors 1-12 again. I'm hoping for that as well. I really hope they win because I like Warriors. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So just a quick revision on those tips: Bulldogs 13 plus, Sea Eagles 1-12, Panthers 1-12, Sharks 13 plus, and Warriors 1-12. So that's gonna do it for the potty, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you, Will. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And hopefully you go back to back with your premierships this year in the SRL.
Oh, we can only hope, mate. But we'll see what we can do.
But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you guys had, oh, that's the wrong screen. I hope you guys had an amazing time. Make sure you join that SRL link because honestly, guys, it's an awesome community. And if they're able to get to 17 teams, that would be absolutely, absolutely insane. And it's definitely a really good growing community and stuff. Any final words, Will?
I'd just like to thank you for having me and thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's been great, and I hope to see a few of the listeners in the league soon. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. My handle is K, Kaye. So don't be afraid to give me a shout if you need any help.
Yeah, I'll put that on. I'll put that on the chat as well. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be doing 2 episodes of the Scrum next week. One for Origin, one for the normal round. Until then, guys, take care and see you next week. Up the Broncos.